Welcome everyone to the Nosebleeds Podcast. This is episode 1. My name is Kiran, your co-host, with our fellow co-hosts here, Aidan and Logan.
So, we are coming at you with the Sunday night recap. We're going to hit you with our thoughts on the whole slates for Sunday.
Week 4.
Week 4. Thank you, Logan, for clarifying. Our picks, what went wrong, what went right, just kind of our entire thoughts on the evening. Kiran, did Julio Jones and the young Matt Ryan do it for you this week?
Unfortunately, I wasn't lucky enough to pick them. I only made 2 lineups this week. I made them both at 5 o'clock in the morning during the Colts game, which is really rough. But it turned out, okay. I mean, they both didn't cash, obviously, because if they did cash or had anything relevant, I probably wouldn't be making this podcast. I'd be too hype in, like, Bora Bora or somewhere nice. But, I mean, it was all... I mean, I was favoriting the Cam Newton lineup again. But, yeah. I was one of the unlucky ones, brother. How about you? Did you fare a little better than I did?
I went heavy on Ben, actually. Ben was the guy that I was thinking was going to just destroy the Chiefs, and I was pretty good call on that.
Yeah, you were pretty much right. He definitely I mean, if 36-0 is not destroying the Chiefs, I'm not really sure what is.
Yeah, 36, 5 touchdowns isn't too bad. But yeah, I went deep on Ben this week. I stacked him with Antonio. But Ben really kind of just shared the ball. Antonio only had like 4 or 5 catches.
Yeah, 64 yards. It was a pretty light load for Antonio. I agree.
Yeah, but
he did have 2 touchdowns, but
yeah, but they
fantasy-wise for the price.
It was the value.
What did he finish at? Do we know how many points he finished
22.4 points. He had,
and he's kind of expensive, huh?
Yeah, he's 9,700. Definitely looking for more than 22 points out of Antonio.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to go a little off topic, but going into the, staying on the week 4 thing, the workhorse for me has been DeMarco Murray. Every week he's consistent. Like, I feel like every week he's getting 22.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, DeMarco Murray's getting his, but then you look at...
I'm so blown away. How is it possible? He did so poorly last year, and then this year he's like every time.
He just gets his because the Titans just can't throw the ball. Tajay Sharp was coming in with all this hype every game he was getting, possibly Tajay Sharp, he's got the matchup, and then he just wouldn't perform, and now they're just letting DeMarco Murray get his,
Yeah, almost 26 points this week. Like I said, DeMarco Murray was another superstar. But staying along that topic of running backs, who do you think was your 2 big misses and your 2 big hits on running back this week? Not that you had them, but...
My big misses, Jeremy Hill, I was pretty big on for the Thursday slate. I stayed pretty tight with the running backs. I went Jordan Howard because his matchup was good. And then this morning they announced Javoris Allen was out, and it was going to be Terrence West. So I went pretty deep on him too, just being the solo back against the Raiders.
How did he do?
He met value.
Oh, he met value?
20 points. Yeah, he had 20 points, yeah.
What was it, like 5,000 or something?
No, he was cheaper than 5, I think.
Wow, that's a good pick.
I forget, yeah. And then my bust of the week was probably LeGarrette Blount, and
sorry about that.
But
I didn't type him in the chat this time. I didn't overhype him this week.
LeGarrette Blount didn't do it for me. The biggest bust of the week was Dwayne Washington. He had the matchup against the. I thought he was going to do more than he did. Everyone did, but that was just a low-scoring game that I thought was going to be more.
Yeah, Logan, we should preface that Logan unfortunately didn't make any lineups this week. He was a little too busy doing a couple other things.
I made the lineups. I just didn't do, like...
Oh, you made some lineups?
Yeah, I just didn't do
I'm not
amazing.
aware then. Okay.
Like, I did play the Atlanta and the Carolina game.
But on the wrong side of the ball?
Unfortunately, I stacked Cam Newton with Calvin Benjamin and Greg Olsen, and they didn't do nearly as well as Matt Ryan and Julio Jones.
Can we just talk about the Matt Ryan, Julio Jones thing for a second? Like, that was ridiculous.
503 yards, 300 reception yards.
The entire time I was watching, how do I have 0 exposure to Matt Ryan and Julio Jones? Like, just because they started out slow, it's fucking Julio Jones.
Well, it's the thing. It's like, it's Julio Jones. He didn't perform
up the par
At all.
by
super
week.
well.
Week
I
one.
mean, he did all right, but not super well for
Week one,
you
he
know,
didn't get one, right?
70.
He didn't get any yards.
A 7,000 whatever receiver, $8,000.
He's the most expensive receiver.
Yeah, receiver.
He was the most
However
expensive
much he
receiver,
costs
but
in
he
the
was
past 2 weeks. I don't
lowest
even
on-
think he's broken 25 points, and he's going against the defending NFC champions. You can't really. I didn't
Yeah.
expect him to do that.
But
Amazingly
then I look at it like this: he was going against 3 rookie backfielders, secondary, and he just lit them on fire.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's something that the thing with fantasy, like for us, I don't think we're professionals yet or at the level that a lot of people are at, which is okay because it's fun to learn. But a lot of people understand, like, they don't fall in love with the past. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know that they were NFC champions.
For sure.
But they're going to get away from that. It's a new year.
From an analytical point,
Correct.
you would have seen that there was 3 rookie backfielders and Julio Jones at home. I'm surprised that he was so low owned. I'm surprised that I wasn't on him. I'm just surprised in general that he was so low owned, and that I'm not even surprised that he went off. When you look at it, like 3 rookie secondaries against
Nobody can
Julio
guard
fucking
him.
Jones.
Yeah. He's too real. He has the speed, the length. He's lanky.
He's just one of the best of all time, bro.
And Matt Ryan is like, I mean, I watch a lot of The First Take, which is a very popular show on ESPN2 with Stephen A. Smith. And it's true, Matt Ryan is like, he's the level right under elite quarterback. And there's only like 2 or 3 elite quarterbacks currently in the league. Like, he's as high as a B+ can get. And you put
as high as a B+.
Yeah. So you put that quarterback with the best receiver, one of the best receivers in the league, period, against an awful defense right now that's been struggling every week.
Yeah, there was also
it makes sense now that you think about it.
Defense going into this week, everyone still was, like you said, stuck in the past where they expected Josh Norman and the whole B secondary, where everyone feared the Panthers' defense last year, but this year they're not nearly as good just because they lost their entire secondary. But all right, we talked about Julio and Matt Ryan enough. Let's talk about the early morning game, the Colts Jaguars. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched only the first half. So
it was at 6 a.m., bro. Did you, Logan? You woke up.
I watched like
the
third quarter into the end. So like,
does Philip Dorsett only get deep bombers?
Yeah,
He's
basically
so cool.
Philip Dorsett is the deep guy, and Andrew Luck will usually look to him when. What are those routes called when they have one receiver run this way and the other one goes straight?
It's like a level. There's leveled routes.
Yeah, well, it's a level, and they'll have him run the streak because
it's like
the DBs will.
So he's loading up in the slot, pulling a linebacker or a safety, and then it's one-on-one with TY.
Well, yeah, it depends what the matchup is, with what the coverage is. When you have anything that's like, it's like you're trying to get a texture, you know, you're trying to get a read for the defense, and when you have like leveled routes like that, or like, you know, somebody's running an out and then somebody's running a post.
Yeah.
So somebody's coming in and somebody's going out. There's going to be a receiver in that vicinity, and a defensive player in that vicinity, and whoever he follows, you throw to the opposite person.
For sure.
In the most basic way of describing it.
What's up with Frank Gore this year, Logan?
It's awful, man.
Frank Gore.
As our resident Colts fan, talk to me, Frank Gore. Tell me what your expectations are for the rest of the season, if any.
Well, I don't expect much from Frank Gore, but I
feel like that's the best way to go at it, because if you don't expect much, whenever he does something, you're going to be surprised.
Well, I mean,
because whenever you expect Frank Gore to do anything for you, he lets you down.
He doesn't put up the numbers. And
he doesn't put up the numbers.
I'm a Colts fan, you know. It's just really hard to be a Colts fan.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
He's just not San Francisco Gore. You know what I mean?
He's not that.
Like when they went to the Super Bowl Gore, like he's not that player. I don't even know. Is it his fault, or is it just your line is that bad? Like, whose fault?
Everything.
Is it?
He's 40. He's got a
He's
terrible
40?
line.
He's not
40, but
he's
you know.
Exaggerating.
Yeah, I'm over.
How old is he? Like 35, 33? No, he's younger.
Younger, I think. I don't know. He's probably 30, if that. Let's talk a little bit about the Seahawks game, because they They did just about as well as I thought they would do against the Jets, as injured as Russell Wilson was.
He
pretty much showed that
out.
this week coming up, I think Ben and the Steelers are going against the Jets. I think we're going to see another bully beatdown from the Steelers, no?
Another bully beatdown.
It's in Pittsburgh. Revis is going to guard Antonio Brown. Who the fuck? Why is that even allowed? That should be illegal. Antonio Brown is going to set him on fire. Le'Veon Bell is going to cut them in half. Who's going to score? Eric Decker's gone. Brandon Marshall. I mean, it's going to be Brandon Marshall, Antonio Brown show. That's what you fuck. That's going to be a good stack next week. Just they're going to go at it. They have that bet too. So whoever has more yards on the season gets like a car or something.
Yeah,
it's going to be that extra drive.
That especially against Pittsburgh secondary. Although it didn't show today during the Kansas City game, it's pretty like mediocre.
It's better than average.
I thought this game was going to be a shootout. I didn't think that the Pittsburgh's.
I think.
I don't know. I thought Jeremy Maclin was going to get his. Travis Kelce, I was expecting to get his. Something went down with the Pittsburgh secondary. They got embarrassed by Carson Wentz, who's basically like a young Carson Palmer, Peyton Manning mixed.
I feel like Carson Wentz isn't on that team. It's Alex Smith.
Carson Wentz last week.
Last week.
When Carson destroyed the Steelers, it reinvigorated them to do better this week.
Well,
I just think the Eagles are that good. I just think
they're that good.
I just literally think they're that good.
The Eagles are super good. I don't know about their offense is real. Carson Wentz is a hitter, bro.
I mean, you can't argue against a winning record that good.
I mean, it's the first 3 games.
They played 2 bums and then a superstar team that was ranked by a lot in the top 2.
Okay, that's fair. But when you hear about Carson's like off the field practices, like he's dedicated as fuck, bro.
Yeah, that's what
I hope he is.
Let's talk.
It's first year. He's not a veteran.
He should be because he's getting paid millions of dollars. But you hear about he just seems like for a rookie quarterback, he seems like he's fucking making the right moves to be a real hitter in the league.
That's definitely something I agree with.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Tennessee Houston game because my boy DeAndre Hopkins has a cool 1.4 points.
Yeah, honestly, nice. Every time I play anybody from Houston, I have been picking Will Fuller over DeAndre Hopkins every single time, because Will Fuller's superior. He might not get a lot more looks as DeAndre Hopkins. He'll get almost as many looks, but the thing is, he follows through, he receives them, and he gets them, he catches them, he gets the yards. But DeAndre Hopkins, they usually just have him covered most of the time because he's the nuke. He's DeAndre Hopkins. You can't not cover him.
It's true. Yeah. It's true, son.
Will Fuller will get a lot of the looks, and usually it will be a successful play. Because
I feel the same way. Tennessee has a beast corner. They have one decent corner who probably covered DeAndre, and that's why Will Fuller got opened up. That's kind of what I want to talk about for Tennessee is specifically like those defenses where they have a decent corner who can kind of shadow one guy, maybe even Verrett when they were playing the Colts, and you kind of lean towards that second string wide receiver. That's a play that any utilize more.
Not second string necessarily.
No, it's not. You get your wide receiver too. You go from DeAndre Hopkins
number
to Will Fuller because of a better corner, like
number 2 receiver.
Yeah, I just think every week I just like Will Fuller for his price and he gets enough attention to attract me over DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, personally, I feel like DeAndre Hopkins I'm going to be waiting for a game for him. Does that make sense? I'd rather get 6 games of getting anywhere between 15 to 20 points with Will Fuller than DeAndre Hopkins like getting 1 point. You know what I mean? Like Will Fuller's never going to have a game where he's that bad. And even if he does, you're not risking too much of your bankroll.
I guess. What game do you want to talk about next? Anything that stood out?
We didn't talk about Tampa.
The game I liked that I was watching today was the Oakland game and the Baltimore game, and I did not have any exposure to Michael Crabtree, because
I had Crabtree and Steve Smith specifically just because Mike Wallace's targets went down the last 2 games in a row. Steve Smith's went up. I just assumed that trend was gonna continue.
I had exposure to Steve Smith, yeah, and I thought that was a really good play. I always thought he was a good play, especially because he got cheaper.
I don't know why he keeps getting cheaper, but he keeps playing better. It's very weird.
And Crabtree over Amari just because Amari gets way more. People are gonna pick Amari way more, and his production hasn't been there this year. While Crabtree gets looked at. Amari has been, I think he got called back 2 or 3 times the first 3 games for touchdowns, so his stats could be better. But when they go for those deep bombs, they go Crabtree all day. He's like,
3 touchdowns today.
I know, bro. That's
Who are your guys' favorite, like
Smith? I just kind of faded Amari just because he's gonna be picked a lot more.
Yeah, honestly, whenever I pick any receiver from Oakland, it's usually Michael Crabtree. I don't usually pick
but
Amari
I do
Cooper.
think Amari Cooper is due a big game, so I'm gonna be looking for a favorable matchup for him just because he still hasn't. I don't know if he has a touchdown yet this year.
Wow.
Or no, he has 2. He has 2.
He does.
I was about to say, whoa, where do these stats come from?
But did he have 3 touchdowns in one game?
No, he didn't. But he has potential if he has a good matchup. Yeah. Because now everyone's gonna be looking at Crabtree and everyone's gonna forget about Amari.
He's gonna be. Who does he play next week? Let me see. He plays San Diego.
Yeah,
I'm expecting him to be like at least 20% owned.
No, Verrett might cover. Verrett stays in the slot, and Crabtree might. Yeah, Amari's gonna have a big game next year or next week for sure.
Next year, we'll just wait.
Next year, we'll just wait.
Next year, we'll just wait for that.
Let's talk about some defenses, boys.
Yeah, who's the highest scoring defense this week? Do we know?
I think the Steelers.
Really?
Did they get a? I didn't watch the whole game. Did they get a? No, they didn't.
Yeah, they didn't even get a pick 6.
The Browns had a pick 6.
Were they the highest scoring defense?
I don't know. How do we?
Just go on our DraftKings app.
Yeah, check it out. Someone pull it up. Yeah, the defenses. I was pretty stuck on the Broncos this week. I like paying up for defenses because I know what I'm gonna get.
The Broncos were, I think, the best. They got 15 points. That's a lot.
Yeah,
I had the Broncos on my team. On both.
I was high on the Broncos just because I know Jameis Winston is a moody little bitch and he'll throw 1 pick and then throw 3.
Whoa, bro! Calm down, bro.
Look at me talking shit on some.
You can't say that. Then we're not gonna get Tampa Bay fans. We want all fans.
Oh, I want all fans. Oh, I'm apologizing, Tampa.
No, okay. So to save us, to save our face, I think Jameis Winston is an amazing pickup for that organization. But I mean,
Jameis,
you got to be reasonable. He's still young, So
Jameis Winston
give him a couple more.
An okay matchup-based player.
I just don't like.
Jameis Winston has killed it like every week except for the.
I usually will never pick
he's gonna miss.
What? He's so consistent.
I usually will never pick.
He's gonna go 0 to 100.
Honestly,
hate it. Get salty.
You think so?
Talk to me about Ezekiel Elliott.
He finally played well. Finally,
bro.
I mean, it's
he has
been
2
years.
games in a row where he's got over 120 rushing yards.
Yeah, but finally got a touchdown. Like,
what do you expect?
I mean, and last week against the Bears,
what do you expect? You have to play Zeke.
Come on, man. No, against the Bears last week, like you have to have 275 yards to like even make an argument.
He got vultured 3 times in the red zone.
Oh, yeah. They brought like Alfred
Morrison, Lance Dunbar, and then Dak ran one in for himself.
That's funny.
Yeah. But the play for me this week was Bryce Butler at 3,000. Once I heard Dez was out, you got Bryce Butler coming in, looked insane preseason, and he's super cheap, and he got 15 points. He's bigger than Dez. He had some synergy with Dak already from preseason, so it's not like they were just going into it blind. 15 points, your boy fucking calls it big.
I don't know why on DraftKings it says Tom Brady's out against the Cleveland. It's very odd.
Yeah. Is there any other games that we need to talk about specifically, or what you got to cover, Kiran?
So we definitely didn't talk about somebody who didn't go off, but his looks, everything is still there. So it's another guy that I don't know if people are really sleeping on him, but just to remind you, you got to keep Terrell Pryor Jr. on your radar. This guy got 9 targets today.
Senior.
Is he senior?
Terrell Pryor Sr., yeah, he's Terrell Pryor Sr. Of course, you have to keep an eye on him. He got 34 points last week, 15 points this week. He lines up wherever he wants. He's literally the entire Browns.
Yeah, he's the entire Browns organization right there.
He's like he's not their franchise player. He's literally their franchise. Like this, if Terrell goes down, they're never going to win a game.
It's unbelievable. They have no chance. The guy got 35 points last week. Couldn't even win the game. Like, come on, man.
Matchup was better last week. He had Josh Norman on him this week, and he still made some plays. Let's you guys want to talk about like a bust of the week or our like most impressive pick, our play of the week or whatever?
Yeah, go ahead. What do you think?
All right, do you guys have a like a bust, like not even your like most unimpressed player, but like the player that you thought was going to do a lot better than he actually did?
Who did like the worst for the prize?
I honestly thought Doug Baldwin was going to go off a lot harder than he did. I was expecting a bigger game from him, just because you look at the Jet secondary and it's ravaged with injury and old people.
Yeah.
And Cam Newton, I thought he was going to have a way bigger game against.
Yeah, that was a pretty genuine bust. Yeah.
That was a bust for sure for me. I was expecting, but Cam got a concussion too, so that's kind of a big deal.
So Jonathan Stewart, don't sleep on him. They might actually give the poor dude the ball a couple of times. The running back, the guy never gets any looks because Cam does everything.
Do they have
Jonathan Stewart.
Stewart. Is Cam gonna have to miss a week? Do you guys think?
Jonathan Stewart's not playing right now.
Yeah, Jonathan Stewart's not playing.
It's Fozzie Whitaker.
It's Fozzie Whitaker,
and he did very well. I
had Fozzie Whitaker in a lot of lineups. This dude's an animal. He's gonna do even better next week.
He got 9 receptions today.
How many points did he get?
One big run. Other than that, it wasn't too much.
But he got a couple receptions.
Oh, you know who I want to talk about? Just fucking let me down big time. Deshaun Jackson.
Oh my god! I could have told you that, bro.
Here are my 3 busts.
I had equal exposure to him, Jordan Reed, and Jamison Crowder. Just expecting Kirk to go off. I thought Kirk was gonna. Everyone did because it's against the Browns.
Yeah, he literally turned off. Like he was like not alive.
He got Jordan Reed 30 points in the first 10 minutes of the game, and then just did nothing.
Jordan Reed got 30 points.
Jordan Reed had 28.3 points. He had 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, and then he didn't do anything else.
Yeah, I had exposure to Jordan Reed too, but I only had him in like one lineup, and I did have Jamison Crowder in a.
Yeah, I had Jamison Crowder in a couple. My tight end that I was pretty high on once I saw Antonio Gates was out was Hunter Henry. Phillip Rivers says that he's always open. You got to go with that when you're going against the Saints. They're going to throw, obviously, and he got 2 touchdowns, I think.
Okay, this is a fact for anyone that plays DFS or any fantasy sport. If you do not have Drew Brees at home in 73% of your lineups, you are delusional. That man at home, it's unfair. Whether they lose or win, he's going to put up 40 points. It's just ridiculous.
Drew Brees
it's not fair.
At home does not give a fuck. He's throwing up 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, whether you like it or not.
Look at it. It's just Drew Brees weather. If he wants it to be 73 degrees, guess what they're going to do?
Who do they play in Week 5?
I think it's their bye.
Really?
Or they play like on a Monday or Thursday or something.
They do not play. No, they do not play.
They don't play?
Not on the Millionaire.
Not on Sunday.
Not on the Millionaire.
Not on the Millionaire.
The only reigning game at the moment is mentioned as Tennessee-Miami.
Yeah.
Everybody else is looking good.
Yeah. Is that all we want to cover?
There's a storm. There's a storm coverage right here.
There's a storm. I'm talking about cover for like the rest of the recap. Is there anything else that happened this Sunday that we need to talk about?
Yeah, there's a storm in one of these games. It's really like a big storm. Actually, I didn't. New England Patriots. The Tom Brady storm is coming through, ladies and gentlemen.
Tom Brady storm is coming. You're funny.
Yeah, that was a good one, right?
Yeah, we can talk about Tom when we're doing our picks and stuff. Our picks podcast.
Yeah, so I think that's gonna wrap it up for podcast 1, episode 1. Thank you guys for joining the Nosebleeds podcast. Again, this was your co-host.
Thanks for checking out the Sunday recap.
The Sunday recap. That's pretty much it. I think, like I said, guys, it's gonna wrap it up for us. I hope you guys enjoyed it while it lasted. As we grow as a podcast, I think we'll do a little better, get a production value up.
It's our first fucking try, you know? Like, we're easing into it. We're going to talk some shit, and we're going to make some mistakes, but we're going to give you some phenomenal picks and make you a lot of money, so listen up.
This is Logan Baker.
Let's not make any guarantees here. Don't take that to the bank.
If we're not making you money, Kiran will pay you.
No.
Yeah, he'll give you all your buy-ins back.
No.
Yeah, if Kiran's picks
only
don't
up to $2,000.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you guys again. You folks have a lovely night. Take care. This has been the Nosebleeds.